Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial is set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com, USAPrepares.com. John is engineering the broadcast at Genesis Communications Network in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli. With me today is the real Fox Mulder of the X-Files, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the laugh. I need one of those day after everything else. Grace is here sitting with me.
Hey, Grace. That's Grace Thorne. Rick is mentioned. And Grace Thorne taught a sixth grade class, and she and her sixth graders would come on the air with us, every 6 weeks or so. And we'd have a lot of fun teaching medicine with Dr. Shealy and
would you turn your volume
science.
Up for me, please?
Sure. We'll turn it up right now.
Yeah, that's a little better. Thank you.
Okay. And Dr. Richard Allen Miller would teach physics with our sixth grade class in Ryan, Oklahoma. And since, Rick, I don't think anybody else wants to do that with us anymore. You know that? I think Grace Thorne was the last of her breed. No,
she's a good old girl. There's a bunch of them out there, trust me.
Okay.
And our friend in California probably will be back with her two sons in homeschooling. And once I start my children's program, we'll be doing that probably from the Caterpillar, driving down the road. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, Rick, what I meant by that is public schools don't seem to be very interested, at least the ones I've communicated with.
Well, there's no support. That's the part of it. In terms of not following party lines, is that the right word? For grants and federal funding. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's all usury. The whole thing is wrong. I think most people now, I know everybody listening to us feels this way, and if that is representative of across America, which I think is starting to happen now more and more, everybody's starting to get it. Like, for example, the big Planet 9 that now NASA's, Nibiru, the end of days, all of that. Well, now it's mainstream media just like it ever was. And Hillary Clinton, there is a high, I just posted on that one under her, Hillary Clinton is going to go to jail. I think so. I don't think she's going to run for president. I think they're going to arrest her and put her in prison before the elections. I think that is actually now, from everything that I can tell, is going to happen. The Bundy Ranch and Burns, Oregon connection is bogus. I posted that last night with not so much of a retraction, but an explanation of how it happened and why the misdodge. There is a lot of manipulation going on out there, and it's mostly done by criminals, literal criminals, and they're doing it with intent. And now people are realizing that the banks are going to try to take control of the United States. The Fed has already come out and said that they're probably going to they're in a corner. They can't, what are they going to do? They're going to seize Social Security. That's what's going to happen next. They have no way to, it's going to happen. So,
Rick, you mentioned Social Security. I decided that I would like to get some of the money that was stolen from me and Mrs. Finelli over, all of our working lives. And I went on the Social Security website to start the funds coming back to us. They locked us out. They locked me out. And so Mrs. Finelli got on the computer and she was going to, all she has to do is, request her they call them benefits.
yeah.
And they locked her out. They locked her out. So we called those thugs in the Social Security office, and they said, okay, there's something wrong with your account. Now, that'd be both of ours, right? We were born in different places, and the accounts are locked up. We can't access them. We cannot access the Social Security website. We can get to the website, but we can't get to our account. And so it took 3 weeks to get an appointment with those overworked employees of the Social Security system. 3 weeks to get to see these guys. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's going to get worse, too. They're actually going to go in and cut some of the IRAs and other things that people have put money away in savings, and that's how the Fed is going to do a bail-in. And I posted it on Facebook when it started to happen, and the Chinese yuan, and now Germany and others are joining that. It is the end of the dollar. The petrodollar is finished. They're still, scrambling, but we are going to see the loss of things like Social Security and Medicare and all of it. I took early retirement when I hit 62, knowing I wanted the money, and I grabbed as much as I could and ran with it, and that's all I live on now. That's why I'm so desperate with GoFundMe accounts and doing writing. I'm trying to reinvent and develop enough of a cash flow that I don't go under. And I'm 72 years old. I have to work for a living.
Well,
So
I'm
nobody's
63.
prepared.
I'm 63, and I'm still working for a living.
Well, there it
here
is.
at the farm.
None of us are really, truly prepared for what is going to happen this year. And by 2017, I'm going to guess we're going to have climatic changes and geographic changes by 2017. Certainly, the NASA document is predicting it. And they have been dead on every single prediction. It was written by a bunch of scientists that had algorithms to predict. Cliff High is out there going on saying it. There are others. I frankly don't know what to believe. What I do know is that my food has gone up. I don't eat the same as I used to, and everything is costing more. I had a friend that got out of prison, had been gone for 3 years in jail, in prison. When she came out, the first thing she noted was that the food was literally half again as much as when she went into prison. Now, just in 3 years.
And that's one of the things that you see when you take some time off, or you don't go to the store very often. Mrs. Finelli and I might buy provisions once a month, and because of it's not daily, when we go back, we might not get the same thing 2 months in a row. So we might skip 2 months before we buy it again, whatever it may be, and we will see the dramatic change. So I fully understand what you're saying. You mentioned Cliff High. halfpasthuman.com. He's going to be on with us tomorrow, hour number
By the
one.
way,
Cliff High.
say hi to him and remind him that he wrote me a personal note a week and almost 10 days ago saying he needed to talk to me. I know why. I'm in time travel studies, and I know about his algorithm catching me. And so he was going to talk to me, and he didn't because I didn't have any kind of, what do they call that, algorithms for scrambling.
Encryption.
I didn't have any...
Encryption.
Encryption. And so he was going to work on that and get back to me. He's just up the street in Washington. And I know what he's going to talk to me about because I know I'm going to be seen as an anomaly in history right now. I know why, too, and I can't say. It's just, I'm not, but I know what that's about, and I need to talk to Cliff. He, as much as he needs to talk to me, just pass that on along. Now,
I
there's
certainly will.
something else going on here. And I have made a discovery about timelines and how that thing works. I have the math on it. It comes out of knot theory, K-N-O-T, and the way a plasma can be tied into a knot and squeezed to where it appears like quantum foam. It won't mix with itself. And so the way space is twisted when you pull on one end or the other will determine gravity and other kinds of phenomena that we are now associating with reality. And I have made a breakthrough, and I it's called the Casimir effect. And I am concerned because there's something else out there messing with things. And while I think it's all going to work out okay, I don't think there's going to be the death and destruction that the Bible is predicting, but there will be blood. And people that are not prepared are going to be the ones that are going to have to scramble hardest. And you start with water. And once you have your water together, and I can't even imagine Flint, Michigan, and what they did up there and what's going on in that media part right now. But there it is, just like I said it was. And last year I told you, when you see Walmart stores closing their doors, I said that would be the beginning of the end, and then you started looking for the shelves and what's on it and what's not on the shelves. So here we are at the end of days. I don't know that they're going to use Walmart stores as internment camps, but that wouldn't surprise me.
Wow. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, I'm Vince Finelli, and when we come back, I'd like to respond to a couple of things that you said. You're talking about the stores, you're talking about Walmart, you talked about Flint, Michigan, and I got a call this morning before the broadcast. I'll tell you about it when we come back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. So, Rick, I got a call this morning from our daughter, and she lives in Virginia.
Yeah.
And I was chatting with her yesterday about the storm and just reviewing some of the procedures about the plumbing and should the electricity fail, just some of my thoughts about which rooms to close off in her house and which doors to keep open should she have to use a kerosene-type heater. And so the pipes wouldn't freeze. Because when I lived in Virginia, we had an ice storm that lasted 11 days, or the power was out for 11 days, and people just died. There's no question about it. Just a quarter of an inch of ice on the roads, and you just can't go anywhere because it's so slippery. If you're trying to travel down one of these back roads, the roads are crowned and you just slide right off the road. I mean, the road is designed to shed water, but it was so cold, and the freezing rain froze on everything, power lines, and it was so heavy that the power lines broke and power was disrupted, and stores couldn't engage in commerce, and you couldn't buy anything. You couldn't buy gasoline, you couldn't buy kerosene, you couldn't buy anything, food. And so she called this morning and she said, it's just like the movies. The store, she went to a Food Lion, and the store was empty. Absolutely empty. The store, meaning the shelves. The shelves were bare, just like in the movies. So obviously that means that there's been some panic buying. People are concerned about, having what they need, before they need it, and that's wonderful. But why did they have to go to the store? Why didn't they go a month ago or 2 months ago? Why didn't they have almost everything they needed anyway? And I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take us to teach people to pay attention to what's happening in the weather, to look up, to look down, and make sure they have water filtration. You mentioned Flint, Michigan. And, you turn on the faucet and brown water comes out. Well, the same thing happened in Virginia. We had a well. But in the little town, that we were just outside this little tiny town of about 500 people, and they would turn on the faucet, and brown water would come out, just like in Flint, Michigan. Probably a different reason. And what happened was this one gal moved in from the Northeast to Virginia, and she was a nurse at the local hospital, and they wore white uniforms back then. And she would wash her white uniforms in her clothes washer, and they would come out tan because of the brown water. And she had just had enough. And she started making some phone calls and raising her voice. And pretty soon, it was discovered that a prison was coming to our town. And nobody could figure out why we would want a prison in our town. Well, it so happened that the Shaw Rug Company was in this town, and they abandoned a building, and they were going to turn that into a little prison. And Shaw Rug Company, or Shaw Carpet Company, uses prison labor, to lower their costs. But there's more to the story. And as you were saying before, there's way more to the story than what we may think. So we think that there's two non-related events. One is the water's brown, and the prison's coming in. Well, the prison was coming in because the prisoners needed clean water. The town couldn't afford the clean water, so they said, let's get a prison. There was a Shaw abandoned factory there, and they were going to put prisoners in there to lower their costs of production. And they'd have to rip up the roads and put in new water pipes. Why? There's more to the story. Because the people who managed the water system in the town allowed their family members to skate on the water bills. So they used another little factory that closed to pay the big portion of the water bills. So the little people who were related to those who were running the water company got free water. Well, when the factory closed and the bills weren't being paid, the water supply underground, the pipes, the delivery system, fell into disrepair. And the pipes started breaking and cracking, and as the water traveled through the pipes, it'd pick up mud from under the roads. So the easy way to fix it is let's put a prison in town, and the prison will buy or force a new water system to be put in place and cover up all of the criminal activity that happened before, which was relatives not paying the water bill. So when you look at Flint, Michigan, I wonder if it's the same kind of thing. I wonder if it's just a case of neglect because not everybody paid their water bills. And now when industries left, there's nobody to pay the water bills. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
Winter has just begun, and are you already tired of being cold? How would you like to never be cold again? This is Dale with Fortress Clothing, and I'm here to tell you, you will never be cold again with Fortress. If you're tired of freezing your butt off, elk hunting, sitting in a tree stand, deer hunting, winter camping, fishing, ice fishing, no longer fear the cold. If you snowmobile, ski, snowboard, get Fortress. Sledding with the kids, shoveling the walks, shopping, or if you or your spouse get cold feet at home, get Fortress. If you're stuck outside working in the cold or find yourself in an emergency situation, get our winter bug out bag and you will never be cold again. Fortress is the answer, so quit complaining and go to fortressclothing.com. It's a mid-layer garment that goes with anything you want to wear. Enter coupon code RADIO and get 20% off any item. Go now while we still have inventory. FortressClothing.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Go to gcnteam.com or call 855-GCN-MALL. That's 855-426-6255. gcnteam.com or 855-426-6255. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
This announcement is for every man tired of waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom. By calling now, preferred customers can get a free bottle of GoFlow Prostate, with ingredients shown to help reduce those annoying nighttime bathroom visits. The GoFlow Prostate Challenge is available by responding to this advertisement. If lines are busy, try again. Because the GoFlow Free Bottle Challenge is exclusive, it's not available in drugstores. GoFlow Prostate was formulated by Dr. Mitchell Fleischer with ingredients clinically studied to support an aging prostate. GoFlow helps to increase flow when you go and helps to stop it when you sleep. We challenge you to try your first bottle of GoFlow absolutely free and guarantee you'll be amazed by the results. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563. This is a limited time offer. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us at docram.com, docram.com, as in Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Rick, you were talking about water in Flint, Michigan. You had mentioned that. How is it possible that the government of Flint, Michigan can come on the media and say the water's okay to drink when clearly it's cloudy, clearly it's brown, clearly it's off color?
In the city that I live, Grants Pass, Oregon, they have a water filtration plant that every so often they're dumping raw sewage into our drinking water by accident. Do you think they will tell the populace what they did when they make an error like that? They don't. And so all of a sudden, the entire city has got H. pylori, that little worm, that causes indigestion. And this is typical of all the very small municipalities around the world. When somebody makes a mistake, they don't come clean. They try to cover it up and fix it so that nobody notices. They're trying to do the right thing, but they made a mistake. Are they going to cop to it, or are they going to try to cover it up? What would you do? We, all of us, to some level, run that ship that way. And we're all wrong when we do, and so there are shades of gray. And water is the bottom line. And so it's before anything in terms of nutrition and health. Before anything else, it's about water. And people do not yet understand the importance of the quality of what you're drinking as it affects your entire life, including Congress and all the rest of us. Nobody has a clue, and do not place the importance of the cleanness of water and what you are and what you are not drinking. Now, that's why in my program, working with children, because the first thing a child does is wants to go to play in the sandbox. The sandbox is a metaphor for working with plants and the soil, and they are geared from birth to have a relationship like that. And the first thing that a child needs to be taught is the importance of the quality of water that they're drinking, even teaching adults how to do it. And so, for me, the whole thing is an opposite in terms of prioritizing what is important, quality of living. And it's time that we, all of us, realize that before anything else, what you are drinking for water makes all the difference in the world, the way your nutrients are either assimilated in your body or not. Everybody kind of nods and says, oh, yeah, I get that. But they haven't integrated that concept into their daily living. And that's why juicers, the people that eat raw vegetables, are most healthiest. It's a metaphor.
Mm-hmm. You know, Rick, one of the nice things that I see is people are actually buying water instead of, I'm talking about bottled water, and that's a huge problem in itself. But what I'm saying is that there's a shift from soda to bottled water, and it's not like there's a huge difference in price between soda and bottled water. But the bottles that are used once and thrown away is a massive problem because of the dumping everywhere.
Well, that's your DuPont and the better living through chemistry with plastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There it is.
I'm looking at a photograph on the internet of the amount of plastic waste in the oceans, and there's a statement that says the amount of plastic waste in the Earth's oceans will outweigh fish in just 30 years unless drastic action is taken.
You can go to the bottom of the ocean and pick up the soil at the bottom of an ocean, and it's mostly micropearls of plastic.
And the fish are
everything is eating it. Yes,
right. They're eating it, and then we're eating them.
It's invasive, and the bottom line is there is a need for prioritizing differences in your lives on what is and is not important. And I don't think anybody realizes how mind control works in terms of shifting your values and why you want to do it this way over that way as a lifestyle.
You know, Rick, when we take out our trash, when I say we, I'm talking about all of us. We just take out our trash and we bring it either to the end of our driveway or we take it to the government site where they've got these bins and then they haul it away. So yeah. Not even recycle, but it just, when we get rid of our trash, take out the trash, let's say, it just disappears and we don't worry about it. That's the problem. We don't worry about it. It is a problem. And, I have a farm, and on this farm, before I bought it, I walked the farm, a couple 100 acres, just to see what was here. I was not going to buy a farm that had a toxic dump on it. And I found we'll call it a depression in the ground where things were dumped over the years. There was an old tractor that was there, a couple old tires that I've pulled out, and a swing set, and an old toilet, and a school bus. And so I'm going to take the torch and I'm going to cut up the school bus. I can get all this stuff out. But that's on our farm. And what happened years ago was farmers would take care of their own trash, and they'd have a little pile someplace where they threw all their jars but there wasn't the plastic. The plastic is the real problem, because most of this, and it's a small area on the farm. It's a really short school bus, but I'm going to cut that up and use the metal and recycle it. But farmers didn't trash their own properties. They would build a pile for glass, and it would stay there. But it wasn't like throwing it in the ocean. Now we have a problem with all this plastic. And I don't know what to do with it other than to boycott the companies who are overpackaging. That's all I can think of to do.
That's a good start place. It's also buy local, where you don't need containers on shelved food. That's a good place to start. There's other things you could do to, start your own process step by step in your behavior to your environment and your relationship to it. What I found,
that's what we're trying to do.
When I put my garden in on my older property before I moved, it took me 9 years to get grass, lawn into a friable garden that was producing really cool food. And guess what? At one corner of where I was putting my garden in this little piece of lot that I had in the city was a dump at one point. There was a ridge there. And what had happened is, over the last 50 years, an ant colony set in there. And I'm talking about a massive, probably 20-foot long ant colony going down into the earth. It took me 3 years with creosote and other things to kill off the ant and get the queen. I finally did that, and then my garden started working right. It is everywhere. And you'll notice it's the mafia that does all the cleanup.
Speaking of the mafia and speaking of creosote, I was looking up creosote last night because I'm going to build a biochar vessel, and I wanted to know if creosote was something that could be sold as a product from our farm. Can't sell it. You can't sell creosote. It's only used by the railroads and by the utility companies for the power poles. The rest of us can't use creosote. Rick, we have Tom in Baltimore. Welcome, Tom.
Well, thanks, Vince. You got my hopes up. I was going to say thank you so much for letting me know that we can use creosote again, and then dash them just as quick as you raised them. So thank you for that, Vince.
Well, I plan on using creosote anyway. I'm not really
responsibly. It's not a problem. Apparently, somebody either became too concerned over someone misusing it, or some idiots were misusing it. Either way, we're paying the price as responsible citizens, and it's the best for preserving poles that you put in the ground.
It is so good that the utility companies use it above everything else. It is so good that the railroad uses it to treat the railroad ties so they last as long as possible, so we don't have to cut more trees down to replace the power poles and the railroad ties. But and let me just say what it is. So if you could condense some of the smoke from a let's say it this way. When you're cooking spaghetti and you have a pot of water on the stove and you have a lid on it, if you take the lid off, you'll see water condensing on the top of the lid. Well, if you were that steam, if you will, is kind of like what happens when you have a wood fire in a closed vessel. It just has an air inlet, and as the smoke condenses on a cooler surface, that liquid, it's a black liquid, that is the creosote. So you can save that from a wood fire. Now, we're not talking about a toxic fire with plastic and radioactive waste or oil. We're just talking about burning wood, clean wood. And you'll get this creosote, and it's a liquid, and you can put the end of the posts that you're going to plant in the ground in this liquid, let the post soak for a couple days, and then you'll probably have a post that won't rot for a long time. Do you agree with that, Tom?
Well, I didn't know what the exact recipe was for making it. I knew that a lot of the old-timers could make not only creosote, but the wives oftentimes could make medicines that rivaled anything you could get from a pharmacy. And I'll wait until after the break to finish that thought.
Sure. Tom's with us from Baltimore. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. I'm Vince Finelli. This is USAPrepares.com, and we'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
This announcement is for every man tired of waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom. By calling now, preferred customers can get a free bottle of GoFlow Prostate with ingredients shown to help reduce those annoying nighttime bathroom visits. The GoFlow Prostate Challenge is available by responding to this advertisement. If lines are busy, try again. Because the GoFlow Free Bottle Challenge is exclusive, it's not available in drugstores. GoFlow Prostate was formulated by Dr. Mitchell Fleischer with ingredients clinically studied to support an aging prostate. GoFlow helps to increase flow when you go and helps to stop it when you sleep. We challenge you to try your first bottle of GoFlow absolutely free and guarantee you'll be amazed by the results. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563. This is a limited time offer. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us, DocRam, DocRam.com. Tom in Baltimore is on the line with us. Tom, you had another thought?
we were talking about the creosote and how some people make it, and I simply added on that I had remembered and was looking recently to compile a list of recipes, if you will, for things that really were a part of everyday life. When I was younger, I was brought up, and I'm sure you and the doctor as well, to be a lot more self-sufficient than I ended up becoming in my adult life. The apostasies, they add up. At least they did for me as far as self-sufficiency. I was brought up hunting for food. Not all of it. We had grocery stores. I'm not that old yet. Getting there. And we gardened, and we fixed things when they broke, and we tried to keep what we had working. It wasn't what we have today, this Dixie Cup throwaway society where if something stops working, it's thrown away. I think a lot of things are engineered and designed to have to be thrown away. Certainly, I can't work on my vehicle any longer like I could when I had a carburetor. They don't have carburetors. And if you ever looked under the hood of any modern-day vehicle, it's a computer, and unless you have the specific equipment to work on it, there's nothing you can do with it. And really what saved me, Vince, is my religion. I was brought up Lutheran. I'm a Christian, and I found that I was moving away from that. And it's a slow seduction, just like it is with being self-sufficient. That was one thing that I recognized was a serious problem. You
hit it right on when you said our new throwaway society. I know exactly what you're saying. You have a huge, big screen. The LED, something stops working. Rather than going in and fixing it, you throw it away and get another one. And there's more plastic. And the whole thing is designed like Mopar. I think Joey or somebody sent us something a couple days ago about our throwaway society and the way everything is designed to require a support industry.
And
well, it's even worse
with families. We have families that used to be large and would stay together and support one another, not living under the same roof necessarily, but at least in the same town, oftentimes on a farm, on the same property, but in different houses. And that worked to have the family and the individual, by extension, be self-sufficient and remain close with God, close with the family, and again, by extension, close with the community. Well, we've given up by being seduced into the easy lifestyle, and I put that in quotations because at the end of the day, it's anything but easy. It seems that way at first. I think you'll both agree, but you soon realize that this is not really the, if you will, risk versus reward. You risk a lot and you're rewarded very little. In fact, you're fed upon almost as if you have a host that you're the host, actually, almost like you have a parasite. And that parasite, I would say, is we would call it in church. We would say it's the enemy, Satan, evil, whatever label you want to put on it. And in society, it's big government, which serves the same purpose, and that is to take us away from our roots, from God, from the family, and to use us.
Tom, you mentioned the carburetor on a vehicle. Today you've got the engine control module. That's a computer. You've got the power control module. You've got the security monitor. It used to be that if you had to replace a generator, you could, or a regulator, you could, or an alternator, you could. Now you may have to replace a computer that controls the charging output of the alternator, which could be a $800 to $2,000 computer for a simple problem that could have been just fixed with a rebuilt alternator for $100. You're absolutely right. Is there anything else that you want to talk about when we come back?
If you want me to answer your question about the water pipes in Michigan, I can do that.
Let's do that. We'll be right back. Dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hi, this is Walt Augustinowitz. I'm the founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. By now you've heard our commercials about wallets that protect you from electronic pickpocketing. 10 years ago, I created a way to protect my own cards from prying eyes after government officials started talking about issuing a national ID card with a built-in radio chip called RFID. I felt having to broadcast my personal information was an invasion of privacy. Soon after, it was also announced that credit cards, debit cards, U.S. passports, hotel room keys, and even transit passes would all soon incorporate RFID. It was then I formed ID Stronghold to share my inventions in blocking RFID signals with the world. There are a lot of misconceptions out there today about RFID. I encourage everyone to get informed and get protected. Please go to idstronghold.com and get the facts and the wallet, sleeves, or badge holders you need to protect your personal financial data. You'll be pleasantly surprised that through our direct sales model, you won't pay more than other comparable unprotected wallets. It is as though the protection is free. Visit idstronghold.com today.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked, hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. I'm Vincent Finelli. And if you'd like to call us, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Tomorrow's broadcast, we are introducing your newest instructor, Cliff High. And we'll be talking about the web and what the web is telling us about what's happening. That's Cliff High. Hour number 1, USA Prepares. Hour number 2, Aaron Dakins and I will be doing our first episode of the Bunker Files on USAPrepares.com, right here on Genesis Communications Network. Rick Miller's with us, and Tom from Baltimore had some thoughts about the water pipes in Michigan. Tom, please share your thoughts with us.
Will do. And I'll be clear, concise, and to the point so you guys can get back to teaching. You wondered aloud last hour about what might have occurred with that situation. And I've been watching as many of the news items, and they're not very long, but I've been keeping an eye out for them and paying close attention when they do come on. I had a particular interest because when I owned a home in Baltimore, I'm in Carroll County, which is the next county over now, but I was rehabbing a home from the ground up, basically. Turns out it would have been easier just to build a house. But what I found with the water pipes there, they're old, and they're old everywhere, and even older and more decrepit than the water pipes with most of the homes is the infrastructure, which is owned by Baltimore City, and their infrastructure extends into Baltimore County. Now, Baltimore City is an independent city, like a county. They have their own sheriff, they have their own state's attorney, just like a county. And Baltimore County, the same. But Baltimore City, they run all the water for both the city and the county. And they own a lot of the watershed property. Well, they own all the watershed properties in the county, which probably equal more acreage than the county contains that it actually owns. At any rate, when I went to replace the plumbing at this home, I had to run right out to the street and connect, and I was responsible for what ran from the home to the street. Now, when I got to the street, I realized that when I connected, once I would shore up the pipe about 3 feet down, it would break, and water would come squirting out, usually a small trickle, and then it would lead to, like, if you had a cut in a garden hose. And if I wasn't careful, it would gush. And I'll fix that, and 5 feet down the line, it would happen again. So this was quite frustrating, and that's when I realized, after talking to one of the city engineers, that, yeah, it's like that everywhere. He said, you see the news where you've got these sinkholes. He said, that's our infrastructure failing, and it's failing quicker and quicker all the time. And so I pay real close attention to that, and people just don't realize what's going on right under their feet. And that's just a disaster waiting to happen. I suspect that's happening all around. So in Michigan, when I saw what was happening there, as it turns out, you were right. What was happening was there was a water source from the river that wasn't normally used, and turned out it was cheaper. Here we go with people wanting to profit for their own good, and someone in government decided that they would divert their normal water supply and utilize this river. Now, they didn't look into what the history was. It would have been easy to figure that out. GM, before they left, they had utilized that very same river, and they had filed paperwork with the city about what was going on with their vehicles. They were washing their vehicles with this water from this river, and the paint was coming off. So there was something seriously wrong, acidic, with this water. And they said, listen, this water is a problem. It's your problem. And they settled somehow with the city, but they certainly weren't going to use the water, not even to wash cars. So this clown and city government, without looking at any of the former records, had diverted the water that would peel paint off of a brand new vehicle and let his citizens drink it, I believe, for a year. And yes, the water didn't look pretty, but that's pretty common. I know in Carroll County here, if you have well water, when it rains, you get a little bit of dirt that kicks up. And yes, it will brown your clothes if you're washing whites, but it's not poisonous. Now, these folks have been drinking poisonous water for a year. And when they queried the city about the discoloration, they were told basically what I just told you was, well, it's just a little bit of dirt, and it's fine for washing, and it's fine for drinking, but certainly if you want to buy bottled water or get a filter, no problem there. And they went ahead and they poisoned themselves for a year, and that's where they stand right now, and that's why they're so upset. And what they've gotten is an apology. And I'm sure that makes them feel a lot better, and I think that'll make it all better. Of course, I'm being sarcastic.
Tom, I remember back in the 1990s and also in the 1960s where I put alum in a swimming pool. Took some pond water and had a tanker bring pond water to a swimming pool. And we put alum in it, and the pond water was turbid, and the alum is a flocculant, and it caused the heavy cloudiness of the water to settle to the bottom where we could vacuum it up. And so I believe that's what water treatment facilities do and should do. Rick, would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. When I was a little kid, that was the first thing I did is went down to the water ditch with my microscope. That's like everything is alive, including the water.
Mm-hmm. Tom, you bring up a really, really good point. And so there's a post on the internet, and I remember reading this several days ago about New York City. And beneath the city, several feet down, maybe 5-6 feet down, there are these buried pipes. And there are all kinds of pipes. There are water pipes, and there are also gas pipes, natural gas pipes. And we think that, it's great. We have a gas stove, and gas comes out, and you light the gas, and boy, isn't that neat. Well, underneath the city of New York, there are 6,302 miles of pipes transporting gas. So we have not only water pipes leaking, but we have gas pipes leaking. Now, let me give you some of these statistics. Now, let's see. All right. Gas main leaks. These are not these are gas mains. Gas main leaks per 100 miles of pipe. 92. Consolidated Edison has 92 gas leaks for every 100 miles. Philadelphia Gas Works,
the one in Stockton right now has caused evacuation, or the one in L.A., the gas leak in Los Angeles has caused evacuation. This is going to start happening everywhere now. Just like the nuclear power plants are all leaking. And with your Madrid fault line, watch what happens to your water line now.
Well, you gentlemen are onto something, because what's starting to happen now is not only the sinkholes in Baltimore, but there's violent backflushes that are happening to people's homes where wastewater is shooting out, literally ripping toilets out of the floor and sinks off the walls in their homes and flooding their homes. Something is happening now. I'm not knowledgeable enough to know how they've got these things engineered where this is happening, but it's happening on a regular enough basis that somehow it is that whatever's failing is causing these to happen on a more regular basis, along with the sinkholes. That's another problem, but the violent backflushing is happening as well. It destroys people's homes, and the city says, we are not responsible, we are sorry, because we didn't build the original system, and we never contracted with the folks who did. They were in office 50 years ago, but this is a new administration, and we don't contract with the former administrations, and so there's no recourse. And that's where people have no sense of responsibility. Of course, we as citizens, we've ceded our personal responsibility to people, strangers, and this is where we are today, and that's why I'm trying to get back to being totally self-sufficient. And folks, you can do it. Wanting to do it is half the battle, and then you're with these tethers, and it's tough, but those tethers can be cut. I'm doing it, and I feel freer every day that I do.
It is a lifestyle change, and it is not about changing, it's about the journey of doing that change. You never, ever actually get it all together. It is a continuous fine-tuning.
Tom, you mentioned
you were, and then it's a journey back. And listen, that's what you've got to do once you realize it. I don't think you can realize where you are and how tethered you are and remain that way if you're a free, God-fearing Christian man or woman. I think you must take the course of freeing yourself. That's what we all want.
Tom, and Rick, I was in Utah visiting a friend's house. And he was showing me his basement. And as I toured the basement, we were talking about societal collapse and infrastructure collapse and things like that. And I said, "Well, this is great. You've got a bathtub here in the basement. And do you have a plug that can plug the drain so that when the sewage backs up in the city sewer system, you can prevent it from flooding your basement. And it's like, wow.
Very smart.
Wow. So you need a plug for your toilet, you need a plug for your sinks, you need a plug for, whatever you have in your basement. Especially if you're
dependent on the city system, the county system,
Yeah. By now you know that usaprepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
This announcement is for every man tired of waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom. By calling now, preferred customers can get a free bottle of GoFlow Prostate, with ingredients shown to help reduce those annoying nighttime bathroom visits. The GoFlow Prostate Challenge is available by responding to this advertisement. If lines are busy, try again. Because the GoFlow Free Bottle Challenge is exclusive, it's not available in drugstores. GoFlow Prostate was formulated by Dr. Mitchell Fleischer with ingredients clinically studied to support an aging prostate. GoFlow helps to increase flow when you go and helps to stop it when you sleep. We challenge you to try your first bottle of GoFlow absolutely free and guarantee you'll be amazed by the results. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563. This is a limited time offer. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
So we're talking about the infrastructure in the United States is aging.
Hey, Vince?
Yes.
I need to correct one thing before I bid you gentlemen a good day and let other callers get on here. You asked me about the plugs. That would work if something went wrong with the city system where you might have some backgassing, where it would defeat your elbow joint with the standing water. What's happening in Baltimore is violent. It's pressurized and it's ripping toilets literally out of the the bathroom floor.
Well, this would not fix that, that's for sure.
It would not, right, I wanted to make sure people understood that would not work. You would have to actually disconnect, and it's not happening on such a regular basis yet that, people are doing this on a regular basis here. I think, if it becomes more common, we hear about it about once a month, it seems, maybe once every couple of months, but in a county as large as Baltimore County, there's a lot of people. It's going to take a while before people start thinking, you know what, I might want to go with something else, but really, what are they going to go with? It really means changing everything, possibly even moving, but a plug would not fix what's happening here. So in that case, you would have to change your entire water supply system.
And what you're mentioning is very significant. And as we mentioned here on the broadcast, 6,302 miles of gas pipe natural gas pipe in New York City. And these gas pipes were installed just steel, unprotected steel, or cast iron. And the city is ripping them out, and it can take as many as 25 years to replace these leaking gas pipes. And of course, you've all heard stories about explosions, gas explosions. Imagine being hooked up to, your building being hooked up to these aging pipes that are unprotected. I'm just talking about bare steel pipes. It's insanity putting bare steel pipes in the ground. It really is.
I placed the plumbing in my home. I found that they buried a lot of the main pipes that were delivering the water into the cement concrete foundation. Now, that wasn't meant to be replaced, certainly, though they should have foreseen the need to replace it in the future, and just what a future resident of the home would be faced with, a literal nightmare, because you can't fix that, and you're not going to tear up your foundation. You have to abandon what was there and then go ahead and run your new piping completely around the outside of the building and then come in from another angle. Then you run into the fact that you have iron pipes in the house. Now, if you ask a plumber to connect it, he'll tell you, you know what, in Maryland, no plumber will do that. Now, what we'll do for you is we'll replace all of your plumbing. Okay, yeah, I don't have the money for that, but they won't connect a copper pipe to an iron pipe. Now, I understand the reasons why, but again, you see where nobody thinks about what is going to happen in the future. So if you're not involved in these things from, Jump Street, you're leaving it up to someone else who doesn't care one bit about what any problems are going to be facing you in the future. And that's why, like the old saying goes, it's cliche, but so true. If you want it done right, learn to do it yourself and do it yourself and maintain it yourself.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with you. I absolutely agree. And that's what we do here at the farm. We try to do everything we can ourselves, and including butchering cows. Now, we don't want to butcher cows. We really don't. But every once in a while, one will break his leg or her leg. And what do? The cow's in pain. We can't fix it. The vet can't fix it. So either you let the cow die in agony, or you shoot the cow and save the meat. I mean, those are the choices.
You're doing the only humane and reasonable, responsible thing that there is to do. I mean, that you're doing exactly what you should be doing. I understand the hesitancy, especially if you're raising them for milk and for other reasons. But that's the harsh fact of what we deal with. And people, when they sit down at McDonald's, they don't know what they're eating and how it got there.
Let me tell you what, they don't know what they're eating, and they don't know the poisons that have been around those animals and the insecticides that the animals have been sprayed with, and the herbicides, the grasses have been sprayed with. They have no idea.
Gentlemen, have a good day. Thank you for
so
letting me speak to you today, and I'll open this line for other callers.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online, and I found it. It's buysellmakeoffer.com, a brand new company that's the newest and best way to sell products online. You can even use Skype or video to sell your car, home, any product. You get 30 days free, packages starting from only $7.95, and buysellmakeoffer.com never charges item fees ever. Just go sign up, then load your stuff to sell. I love this site, buysellmakeoffer.com. Got it? Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. DocRam.com, DocRam.com. Rick, Burns, Oregon. What are your thoughts?
Oh, man, it's a mess. It's a mess because everybody's right. And the federal government, the whole thing was because of the Terrorism Act and the way they had to change a simple wildfire fire into a terrorist act where none of this would have happened otherwise. And the way the Paiute put it to Eamon Bundy is, stand in line. This land belonged to us before it was given to the white man. And so...
Stolen, by the way. Stolen by the white man. Stolen by the white man.
Yeah, well, I don't know that the United States has kept any treaty or agreement to anybody, including me right now. And Social Security, and watch what happens next.
I have a friend in Virginia, and he had a saying. It was really kind of neat. And so this man goes upon another man's farm, and he says, "Wow, this is really a nice farm. Where'd you get it?" "I got it from my daddy." "Really? Because it's a nice farm." "Where'd he get it?" "He got it from his daddy." "Well, where'd he get it?" "He got it from his daddy." "Well, where'd he get it?" "Well, he fought the Indians for it." "Oh, suppose I fight you for it." The point is, we've stolen this land.
The FBI is possibly the culprit right now, trying to excite an event. And
well, isn't that what they do?
Well, the FBI used to be, different. When Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. and I used to, respect Hawaii 5-0 and Bookham Dano. I used to love that kind of thing. What is
the FBI
now?
and Andy of Mayberry.
Yeah, the Mayberry. There you go. Yeah, Ron Howard. That's it.
And now I was talking with someone on the phone, and I was saying that I see these cops hiding with their radar guns sniping, and what I do is I warn people that are approaching these hiding cops because I'm so afraid that someone might not see them, where they're hiding, and they might crash into these police. So for everybody's safety, I flash my lights,
There's other things to consider what's going on. Actually, BLM was the problem in the Bundy Ranch and is now the problem, or started the problem, in terms of the wildflower thing. They're trying to give our natural resources over to China for our national debt. And the problem is that the yuan that is now becoming the new dollar, they own 50% of Grants Pass, Oregon right now. Our forests are owned by China.
Well, when you talk about Burns, Oregon, we're talking about some occupiers who, it's been said in the media, they're occupying a federal building, but the federal government is occupying our land, and we're occupying the land that we stole from the Indians.
So there is, in fact, 20 years ago when I was active in the herbal spice trade and writing for USDA, I watched how the U.S. Forest Service, which is a division of USDA, which is way bigger than any other government agency in the world, the U.S. Forest Service, they offered either early retirement or hard time to all upper management. And what happened next was there was a surge in middle management of women, and today they're just as corrupt as the men before them. And I'm telling you, it's about money and the natural resources. Now, there is a little-known Rampurian water right law that nobody knows about. This is like your Passe Comitatus, where they bully you into paying taxes. I will tell you that there are 3 communities now that if the resource has not been in front of a federal judge, the township or owner, it can be taken over, the management of your forests and your natural resources by the locals as a little-known law. You can do it. And they are doing it up in the Sierra Madres right now.
Rick, during the break, I was talking with Joey in Michigan, and he's trying to help me purchase a track loader. The track loader is like a bulldozer with a bigger bucket. And the reason is I mentioned to him that I'm one step below panic mode here, trying to get our farm ready for what I think is coming. I believe that chaos is coming. I believe that the supply chain is going to see more cracks in it, more failures, and it's going to be tough to get things. And
executive orders, where they can take
Barry's out of control.
All of your resources.
Barry is out of. Well, and I'm looking right now at more evidence of this, and gasoline in the state of Missouri right now. There's a page full of gas stations that are selling gasoline at $1.37. Now, if you take out the state and federal tax, literally, the price of gasoline is less than $1 per gallon if you take the state and federal tax out of it. $1.37 easily is obtainable in Missouri. $1.36 is the lowest price I see. That bodes not well for the economy. Now, I was thinking about connecting some of these dots. The storm that's heading to the Northeast. Well, a lot of people in the Northeast heat with heating oil. Heating oil is the same thing as diesel fuel. It's the same thing, except home heating oil has got red dye in it, and diesel fuel for on the road, taxed diesel fuel, is dyed with green. Normally, diesel fuel is between almost a clear color and a light yellow color. That's the color of diesel fuel. Kerosene is clear. Well, they add dye to prove whether the tax has been paid or not. So on the farm, I have a couple tanks. I've got a tank with green that I pay tax for on the road, and I've got a tank with red, which is for farm use. Tractors not leaving the farm. Well, I believe that what has been engineered is a manipulation of the weather to force a massive amount of cold, to force the use of more diesel fuel used as home heating oil to consume some of the supply that's in the supply lines, because gas prices and diesel prices are falling. You think that's possible, Rick, or have I
think you're it's an interesting theory. I don't know. I do know that they are using the weather as a weapon. That I do know. That's always been the mandate since 1950, when they first wrote about it in Collier's. So, before Life magazine. I don't know. They're manipulating the weather here. We had the hottest weather in world history here in Oregon. For the first time in recorded history, it's never been this hot for that long.
Well, the reports that I read are 2015 was the hottest on record, period.
So here we go. And then what's going to happen to the East Coast this weekend? They're going to get hammered with one of the biggest storms in history, probably. They've already had a hurricane.
All right, let's talk about the aftermath. Okay, so it's going to be miserable. Roads are going to be clogged. There's some cheering because maybe Washington, D.C. will be in gridlock, and that'd be kind of wonderful. But after that, as the snow melts, there will be flooding, right? And when there's flooding, there's cross-connecting.
In L.A., right now, I'm warning Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is ready to break. And if that happens, not only did Los Angeles not get any water this year, it's going to get too much. And when we flood, we get black mold. Makes the house uninhabitable.
Rick, they're bulldozing houses that have mold. Literally. houses are being bulldozed because of mold, and we don't know what to do with it now.
Is toxic. I mean, extremely toxic. Way worse than asbestos or anything you could possibly imagine. And now, watch what happens to the radiation and storage facilities.
And we did all this to ourselves. We've done all this to ourselves. But let's go back to the East Coast for just a minute and let some of our class understand what is probably going to happen. So as the snow melts, there'll be some flooding. And as the flooding occurs, there will be probably some cross-connecting of the sewage treatment plants with the water treatment plants, which means that there'll be raw sewage flowing into the drinking water supply in municipalities and cities. Now think about that. Now what would you do about that? Well, that's easy. What you do is you have a water filtration system. So get one from as soon as you can. And you should have it anyway. And get one that has an activated charcoal filter system. And there are a couple good brands. Doesn't matter where you get it to me, as long as you get one of the two major brands. One of them I think is better than the other. And the one that I like, the one that we use here, this is not a commercial. This is not a commercial, but this is just what we do. I like the ProPure. The ProPure water filtration system, I think, is the best that I've seen. And it has an activated charcoal filtration system.
You're going to need something that we don't have in physics yet to take care of some of the shit that's coming out of the atmosphere right now. And when I say that, nanometer, there's no filter that's going to do that. Now, that's why they've invented chlorine waters and some of that other related stuff. Oh, anyway, we'll talk about that after the commercial.
All right, we'll be right back. Dr. Richard Delano is with us. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
This announcement is for every man tired of waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom. By calling now, preferred customers can get a free bottle of GoFlow Prostate, with ingredients shown to help reduce those annoying nighttime bathroom visits. The GoFlow Prostate Challenge is available by responding to this advertisement. If lines are busy, try again. Because the GoFlow Free Bottle Challenge is exclusive, it's not available in drugstores. GoFlow Prostate was formulated by Dr. Mitchell Fleischer with ingredients clinically studied to support an aging prostate. GoFlow helps to increase flow when you go and helps to stop it when you sleep. We challenge you to try your first bottle of GoFlow absolutely free and guarantee you'll be amazed by the results. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563. This is a limited time offer. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-680-1563. That's 1-800-680-1563.
Hi, this is Walt Augustinowitz. I'm the founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. By now you've heard our commercials about wallets that protect you from electronic pickpocketing. 10 years ago, I created a way to protect my own cards from prying eyes after government officials started talking about issuing a national ID card with a built-in radio chip called RFID. I felt having to broadcast my personal information was an invasion of privacy. Soon after, it was also announced that credit cards, debit cards, U.S. passports, hotel room keys, and even transit passes would all soon incorporate RFID. It was then I formed ID Stronghold to share my inventions in blocking RFID signals with the world. There are a lot of misconceptions out there today about RFID. I encourage everyone to get informed and get protected. Please go to idstronghold.com and get the facts and the wallets, sleeves, or badge holders you need to protect your personal financial data. You'll be pleasantly surprised that through our direct sales model, you won't pay more than other comparable unprotected wallets. It is as though the protection is free. Visit idstronghold.com today.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you, so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now, and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
You know, class, I got a call last night from PJ Barden, and his broadcast is called The Barden Report. He's in Wales, so he's across the ocean, and he invited me to be on the air with him 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time, Saturday. So that's on Republic Broadcasting Network. So I'll be on the air.
I'm really pleased to hear you possibly considering Cliff as a resource base. His prediction using WebBots is most interesting. That's what I would do first, is educate your listeners to his concepts of how he's able to project and predict future events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, class, we're talking about Cliff High, C-L-I-F-F, last name H-I-G-H, and he's got a system that scours the internet and looks for information that's flowing back and forth, but discarding the hype. So the hype and the propaganda are removed, and the accuracy is astounding. And it is because of some of this information that he is producing that absolutely jives with my own connecting of dots, not with his information, just things that I have found that I believe are true, discussions with other instructors like Rick Miller and Norm Shealy and so forth, John Regan, Joey, a number of our instructors.
Right order, thank you. Oh.
Yeah, and so we learn a lot here, and literally I am one step below panic mode. I'm not running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm very, very deliberate. I'm spending some of our financial resources, of which they're limited here at the farm, to do what we need to do. And, we talked about this track loader like a bulldozer. Well, many years ago, there were some fires here near this farm, and wildfires. And they threatened to burn down this farm. Well, the previous owner hired a bulldozer to create a fire break. Well, I would rather have a fire break that I could maintain with a track loader than have insurance that I can't depend on. So there are many reasons why I'm looking at, spending some money on a used Caterpillar track loader or a John Deere track loader or, a name brand track loader. It's important to us to be able to continue our lifestyle. And maybe we might even hire ourselves out should we need to. But that's one of the reasons. And Rick, you were talking about water and fullerenes. Please talk about that. Did I lose Rick?
Well, thank you for this time with you, Vincent. I can't tell you how much I really appreciate it because it helps focus what's important for me. Thank you.
Well, Rick, I'm delighted to be broadcasting with you. I really am.
How did they usually? Oh, yes. Thank you for your service. Radio.
Well, I really appreciate what you're doing.
Now,
too.
you deserve it, and that's what is why you are now being listened to by so many people, because what you're talking about is, what are we going to do now? Water. Start with water this week, and next week I'll have the second key if you'd like. If you can get your water together this week, you just do it. Next week I'll have another project for you. Matt Stein and I are doing a 3-day event in the city of Hollywood at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery on March 18th through the 20th. And the 18th is an all-day, open to the public workshop with a special filming of the 2 new movies, Dark Start and Offline, which are about the Santa Barbara grid going down and what happened next, with congressmen and other people talking about it. It's primarily around Matt and his work with grid down situations.
Class, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when we talk about the grid down. And I'm working with Iron Edison, ironedison.com, to build the off-grid system here at the farm. Why? Why would I do that? Because I expect the grid to go down. And if the grid goes down, well, just turn off the power at your house and see how you like it. Or if you're in the Northeast and the grid goes down, see how you like it. And then do something about it. Actually, I suggest you do something about it first. Rick, thanks so much for being with us, class. Above all, honesty and integrity. And what happens next is up to you. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.